Afternoon Year 10, as promised, we're going to run through these few demos of how we calculate the percentage of oxygen that is present in air. They are in increasing level of accuracy and precision. Okay, so the first one is a pretty simple one that you could try at home as well and have a go at, but doesn't give you a particularly accurate representation. The second one is very slow, but will definitely give you a more accurate representation. And then the last one is kind of the conventional method we use now to test how much oxygen there is in the air, just in general, because obviously it changes with altitude and things like that. So we're always looking at a percentage. So our first one is our burning candle experiment. So we're going to look at this one. So the idea is as simple as you take a candle, you take a beaker of known volume, and this is a 250 beaker, and you burn the candle inside a beaker, floating in water, and as the candle uses up the oxygen will disappear from the air in here, creating a vacuum. So the water will get drawn up into the beaker, and you can measure how much the water has gone up into the beaker to see it. So you can have an initial volume of air, a final volume of air, and you can work out the percentage that was oxygen. There are a couple of issues with this one. First of all, obviously the markings on the beaker don't go that high up, and they're pretty spaced out. So our measurement is going to be pretty inaccurate. It's probably going to be a rough guess, actually. Also, we are trapping the gases from our burning candle combustion, as you now know. This is a hydrocarbon. We're going to make water and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas, so it's going to fill up some of the vacuum in here. It's going to replace some of the oxygen that has been used up. So you need to bear that in mind in kind of, it's not that accurate, guys, which is why it's how much space on. So you can see, here is our big beaker. So our initial volume of air is going to be our 250 beaker. We light our candle, make sure it's burning properly. Have it burning, let's try and get it a bit more in the middle of the get it properly burning, and then we place the beaker over it just as most of the water gets drawn up in. So, burning nicely. The beaker goes just under the water, and we wait for our flame to go out. Nearly there, nearly there. And hopefully you can see that the water is slightly higher in the beaker than it is in the surface. It's only about a centimetre depth. So we could probably work out from this, probably about that much of the beaker that was covered in water, which I would guess is about a tenth. So it's probably, our volume of oxygen was probably about 25 centimetres cubed, something along those lines, which would give us about a 10% oxygen in the air from that measurement. Something else to note with the beaker and the candle, it's pretty hard to establish if all of the oxygen has been used up in that case. The candle is obviously going to go out when there's not enough oxygen to burn anymore. That doesn't necessarily mean there's 0% oxygen left in there. So there's going to be a bit of an error on leftover oxygen in the beaker too.